Hey, welcome back. While I was editing the last video, when I was going over these, I figured you probably weren't going to be able to see them. This is just a representations of the things you can do with 3D printing. These are some examples of the shot shells. Let's see. So today we are going to be shooting these 395s. That's 0.395-inch lead balls inside a 3D printed sabot, I guess you could kind of call it. 118 grains, and whatever that comes out to in grams. Before we get started, I am just I'm super close to being finished with the shot rounds. A second ago, I took a couple of shots at my backstop, and I'll show you how tight those patterns are at 15 feet. And I went ahead and recorded this. This was 6 shots at 15 feet, and there was one stray right here. So at 15 feet, that's what kind of a pattern we're looking at for 16 BBs, and there's the other one, which I think is got a little straggler down here. But I think that's fantastic because, you know, you're talking about BBs, and I guess this would be kind of like getting shot by 16 Red Riders at the same time, because you've got to divide the velocity by each BB. And so if these are shooting 260 feet per second, that's, you know, 1 BB times 16 at that velocity. You know, one by itself would sting. 16 at a time in an area about that would really sting. I imagine they would probably go under the skin if it was on bare skin. But the only reason I'm talking this way is because I know that that's what a lot of you guys are looking at this for. Personally, I just want to blast crap in the woods with these. I have no intentions of using them for self-defense. I'm just, you know, kind of making it to satisfy my curiosity and to have something fun to play with in the woods and make it available to you guys if you want it. Now, before we get started, if you're one of my guys that's carried over from BB machine guns, you're new to this like me, I've had this thing apart several times, and getting to know how it works. I was warned that in some of them recently, the firing pin is loose, and it's caused problems for at least one person. If you have one of these, look it up in the owner's manual and make sure you check it when you take it apart. Basically, it just spreads the air around it, and the air comes out of it. It's kind of like a piston exhaust setup in there. It's pretty neat. But also, the firing bolt. You know, I say all this stuff, but it's not. It doesn't translate to the same thing as a firearm. It rides. It's another piston cylinder deal, and what it does is initially air pushes the bolt forward, and that just pushes your round into battery. Once it reaches a certain point, it goes over a hole, and then air can come out and into the barrel. So that gap between your firing bolt and the cylinder that comes out of the air chamber is lubricated, and I think that to some degree you can control the speed of the bolt with different weights of lubricant in there. So if you're having issues with anything feeding, you definitely need lube in there, because if there's no lube in there, that thing's just going to be slamming in there. If you got like fragile rounds, I'm sure it could easily break them. I'm running a pretty heavy lubricant right now. I've got silicone grease in there just to try to slow things down. It seems to be working just fine. I don't think that, in theory, those parts should touch when it's in action, just because of how pressure works and whatnot. But yeah, if you don't have any lube in there, you're going to be wasting a lot of air, because it's not going to make it to the end cycle of that travel to be able to get out into the breech and move your projectile down the barrel. Well, I plan to be loading these up while I talk, but I was talking with my hands instead. So yeah, the other reason I'm doing this is just to find out, you know, what this thing will do bone stock first. So I want you guys to keep that in mind while we're going through these tests. Yeah, this is probably my first time shooting these. I did not test all of these. I tested like 2 of them. So, I mean, it's not going to be, we're probably going to have malfunctions. So far, we've been lucky. Well, that stinks. Like I said, lemonade, anyone? All right, I'll go ahead and show you that recording I did of shooting the shot shells earlier. Glad I did that. Of course, it's not over the chronograph. It was just for grouping purposes to see what they were doing. They feel like they're shooting it as fast as they can shoot. Anyway, yeah, I'll show you that in just a second. I also wanted to show you this. I'm making these boxes to hold 20. Most of y'all don't know that I'm an LLC and have been for many, many years. So this is how they're going to come in 20. And nice handy little box, fits right in your pocket. Good to go. I almost forgot. My dear friend Sergey came up with this logo. Now, I had a time transferring it to this, and when I did, it was all skewed like that, but it fits. But normally, you know, you could see how it would normally be if you look at it like that. So yeah, it all depends on how you look at it. Anyway, yeah, Sergey came up with the logo for us, and big shout out to him. I'm going to go ahead and say bye and run the tape later. Oh, I'll try to get video of these sometime during the week and add it in on next week's video. Later. For this test, we're going to be shooting every shot at the black dot. So everything goes smoothly. We'll get all 6 shots close to that from back there. Let's go back here and get a distance. Yeah, we'll shoot from the shoulder with this coat rack about. So this is Let's see. "15 feet. Let's get that again. Yep, 15 feet dead on. So I'll need to stand back right here. Okay. Alright, I've got you sitting up on the table, zoomed in. I'm going to walk back there and blast away. Alright, let's see what we got. Now that was a fresh sheet of cardboard. And I'm seeing one right there that didn't make it to center mass. Looks like I was shooting a little bit high. But yeah, I am ecstatic with that pattern. It looks like one of the wads hit it right there. And another piece of plastic clipped it right there. But yeah, provided anything didn't go out beyond that, that's all of them. And that may or may not be a BB. Let's zoom in. Yeah, kind of. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that one. Because if we look at what we know is a BB. Where did I all go? I don't know. But, I mean, that's one out of 16 BBs in each one of them, times 6. At 15 feet. Hell yeah.